If he makes it, there's a playoff tomorrow. It'll be on CBS television at 4:30 Eastern Standard Time. If it is not to be, then Tommy Aaron very shortly will be presented with the green jacket. What thoughts must run through his mind as he has been reminded so many times in print, on the air, and I'm certain in person, that he has been perennially a second-place winner, and he is on the verge of winning the coveted Masters title. Is not to be. And so the disappointment of one becomes the joy of another. J.C. Snead gave it everything he had, and he still, recall, along with Peter Oosterhuis, has a putt remaining before the 1973 Masters is history. Hasn't this been a great tournament? I hope you've enjoyed it as much as we have. J.C. Snead now must make this putt to stay at 4 under. J.C. Snead makes the putt that means he finishes at 4 under, in second place by 1. And I know he just must be replaying, among other shots, among other holes, he must be replaying that 12th hole today, where his tee shot found the water and he lost 2 strokes to par, because at that point he stood 5 under par, back at the 12th tee. Now Peter Oosterhuis, who needs this putt to remain in a tie with Jack Nicklaus and Jim Jamieson at 3 under par. Before we leave the air, we'll have videotape highlights of Jack Nicklaus's outstanding 66 today. This means a tie. This means a tie with Nicklaus and a tie with Jamieson. A great, great tournament for Peter Oosterhuis of Great Britain, as he fails by 2 strokes to finish in a tie with Tommy Aaron, and had a bold bid to become just the second foreign player ever to win the Masters. The other, of course, being Gary Player. We'll be back with videotape highlights of this final round right after this message. So, as the many thousands who are here to watch the exciting finale of the 1973 Masters leave and go their separate ways, all I know, just talking about the dramatics of this day. Incidentally, we can tell you now, you know that the weatherman was saying it was going to rain this afternoon about 4 o'clock, and we knew that's when we were going to go in the air. But it didn't rain. The sun did shine, a magnificent day, and we have videotape highlights now of some of the play on this final day. For example, the 12th hole we've talked about over and over again, and as it turned out, it was indeed a deciding hole. Now, this is the way Gene Littler played it. Gene, who was so very ill just a year ago and has come back to play outstanding golf, hit that tee shot within 3 feet of the flagstick at number 12 today. And then Gene playing with Billy Casper, and by the way, that was a bit of a coincidence. Gene Littler then, upon arrival at the green, had this putt for his birdie. And the 12th for Gene Littler was a very good hole, as he gained a stroke on par. And Gene then went on to score a round of 73 today. Meanwhile, Jack Nicklaus was the talk of the early going today, because this was his card on the front 9 as he came to the 9th hole. On the front side, Jack recorded a 32. Now, his tee shot at number 9 was down the left side of the fairway, and he had the trees to contend with there, with the flagstick cut as it was toward the left center of the green. So this is Jack's second shot at the par 4 9th. And he missed the green, went over into the gallery, was beyond the flagstick, as he tried to work the ball from right-left and was not successful. Incidentally, Jack was playing with Babe Hiskey, who was in the bunker at the 9th in 2, and this was Babe Hiskey's bunker shot. And Babe had a round of 73 today to finish at 4 over par. Gene Littler, by the way, finished at 5 over par for the tournament. Billy Casper finished at 5 over par. So after Babe Hiskey had dramatically holed out his third, this now is Jack Nicklaus with his third shot at 9. So Jack ran it quite a bit past the cup at number 9. Incidentally, Jack had 1 bogey on the front side to go with 5 birdies. So now he had a very ticklish putt to try and save par at 9. He needs this now for his round of 32 on the front side, his front 9 score of 32 on the front side. And again, we're reminded that whether Jack Nicklaus wins this Masters Championship or not, somewhere in the tournament his presence is felt by everybody, player and spectator alike. So Nicklaus saved par at the 9th and recorded his front 9 score of 32, which was just 1 away from the front 9 record shared by our 1973 Masters champion, Tommy Aaron and Kerry Middlecoff. And there was Jack's card for the front side. And at this point, the word was just spreading around the course like wildfire. Jack Nicklaus had a 32. How did he stand at that time? 1 under par. So he made the turn 4 strokes away from the lead. Then on the tee at 13, somehow that ball got through the trees. Somehow, and he was down on the left side of the fairway at the par 5 13th. The creek down the left side. And he had an iron left to the 13th green. And here is his second shot at 13. About a 6 iron. And he was unhappy. See him turn away from that? And the reason he was unhappy, he went into the bunker, was buried there. But one interesting note, I had an opportunity to hear Tom Weiskopf's assessment of that situation. He said that in view of what was in front of the green, as he had to come back here with his third shot, he was much better off with that ball being buried or semi-buried, and he was able to do that with it. So his bunker shot was within about 12 feet of it at that time, what he desperately needed, which was a birdie, because you see he had made the turn 1 under, parred 10, 11, and 12, and now is at the 13th and 3, and definitely needs a birdie if he's going to have any chance at all to win this tournament. Now he moves to 2 under par. And that was it. 2 under par. He wound up with 1 more birdie, the dramatic birdie, which I'm sure you saw at 18 from off the front edge of the green, and he finished at 3 under par. Pat Summerall is waiting now with our winner and others who have played a very important part in our Masters Championship. So, Pat Summerall, we turn it over to you.
Thank you, Ray, and it's a privilege for me to have the opportunity to introduce the chairman of the Masters Tournament Committee, Mr. Clifford Roberts. Mr. Roberts?
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My only assignment here today is to introduce Mr. Frank Broyles from Little Rock, Arkansas, one of our members from that state. Frank is classified as a member of the faculty of the University of Arkansas, but I have never heard anybody call him professor. I think he's more commonly known as coach, which means that once in a while he has something to do with instructing people how to play football. Here at Augusta, we know him as a very active individual looking for tax-free money on the golf course. And but we have a little more important assignment for him at the moment, and that is to conduct an interview of these young athletes who have so greatly distinguished themselves here today. And now, Frank, if you proceed, I'll be greatly obliged to you.
Thank you, Cliff. One of the features of the Masters Tournament is including in its invitational list the great amateurs of our country and around the world. And we have always felt that they add much interest and help the tournament in many ways. We feel that we have a great representative here today as our low amateur. He is a repeat from last year, Ben Crenshaw from the University of Texas. Congratulations, Ben.
Thank you, Mr. Broyles. I would just like to thank the Masters Committee and especially you, Mr. Roberts. The amateurs always feel welcome here at the Masters, and I sure hope one of us can win the tournament one day. I had a good chance to finish very high, but let a few shots go out the window there. But we sure do want to thank you again.
Ben, I had breakfast with you this morning, and we were talking about the 12th hole, and I'd like to tell the audience what you told me this morning.
Well, I've had a little trouble with number 12 this week. The day I played with Jack, I was the co-leader at the time, and I dumped it in the creek in front of the water, in front of the green there, and did the same thing the next day, too, but I was very determined to get it across the water today. I was going to hit it over with a driver if need be. But I got my 3 today. But.
Well, Ben, thank you. We're pleased to have you in the tournament this year, and we know that you've got a very promising career. Well, J.C., you made a real run at it.
Well, I just threw it all out the window in one shot. That's
on number 12.
Yeah, I went against my better judgment. I told my caddy and myself all week that I was going to always go into that green with one more club than I needed to be sure. Then I let my boy talk me out of hitting the club I had in my hand, so I hit it in the water. I guess if I'd have hit a perfect shot, I'd have been all right, but I was trying to work it back to the right a little bit and hit it high, and hit up just short of the green, came back in the water, and that was it.
What club did you want to use?
Well, I was going to hit a little choke down 6-iron and try to cut it back to the right a little bit. The wind was blowing in her face and a little bit to the left, and I wanted to work it the other way, and I've had trouble with that hole all week, but I'd made 1 par and 2 bogeys. Bogeys better than a 5, and if you hit it over, you know you're going to make either a par or a bogey, but if you get in the water, it's pretty tough to make a bogey. So.
Well, you came back, J.C., and made a real run at the title, and
well,
13,
I hit good putts the last, actually, I think 18 was the worst putt I hit. I hit it a little bit too hard, but 13 I thought I made the eagle putt there, and 14 I thought I made that one, and 15 I thought I made that one, 16 I thought that was going in for sure, and then I made a good par putt at 17 to stay alive, and I hit a good shot at 18. I thought it was a little closer than it was, but anytime you get up behind that hole, you've got your work cut out for you to get it down in 2, and I tried to make it, and I almost 3-putted that.
I thought you would. On 17, you had a bunker shot. Describe for us how you got that ball up and made that putt.
Well, we had a little discussion there on the club, and I thought I would just hit a little 9, and Uncle Sam told me in the practice round, he said, this hole always plays a little longer than it looks, or the yardage says, and I played the hole real well all week. I had 2 birdies there, and so I was thinking wedge or 9, you know, backwards and forth, but actually I had a good 9-iron, and I kind of took a little off the 9. I was trying to put it out to the right and let the wind bring it in there, and I mishit it a little bit, and I didn't hit it hard enough either, and I hit it, and it came back in the bunker. Then I was a little disgusted with myself, and then I gave myself a little pep talk, and I said, I'm going to hold this shot. I'm going to hold it. I know I am, and I got in there, and I hit it. The ball went over the cup about 2 inches. Look, I thought it might go in for a minute, but it turned out it wasn't such a good shot anyway, but I managed to make the putt.
17's a tough green to putt anyway.
Yeah, well, the green kind of works back up from the front to the right corner, and I pretty well knew where to putt. And I'd hit good putts every hole there for 5 straight holes, and I thought, well, you know, maybe I can scratch this one in.
Well, I believe we're ready to look at your second shot on 18, J.C., which was a tremendous shot to give you a chance for a tie. What club did you use?
I hit an 8-iron. Wish I'd have put some bubble gum on it or something. Got to stop a little quicker.
Well, it gave us a real thrill. Congratulations on a great tournament.
Thank you very
Now
much.
let's go to our new winner and champion, Tommy Aaron. Congratulations.
Thank you, Frank.
You still got a little bit of your game face on.
Yeah, that's
know
right.
that,
I said it's hard for me to put the victory face on. I had my game face on all day, which I just tried to think about playing the next shot and the next hole to the best of my ability. But you know, winning this tournament is difficult for me to put into words just what it means to me, because I'm a native Georgian, and of course my tournament victories haven't been that many, and I would like to have won any tournament, but to win this one here is a fantastic thrill for me, and it's hard to put in words what it means. It means so much to friends who pull for me, and I know my wife's watching this on TV, and she's very excited about it. And this is a good time for me to say thanks to the people who have pulled for me over the years, and local people in Georgia and other parts of the country, and it's a great thrill.
Well, you were a very popular winner out there today. I was following you in the audience, in the gallery, and they were cheering you on. I know that they had some effect on your play.
Yeah, although sometimes they cheer so much for you, it might get you a little too excited. I had to keep trying to calm myself down, because the people get so enthusiastic that if you let that rub off on you, as far as I'm concerned, it might affect my play. So I have to kind of keep trying to gear myself down.
Well, Tommy, you didn't have to worry about Jack making a charge at you. You had to worry about making your own charge, because you were, what, 3 or 4?
Yeah, I was 4 behind,
starting
today, and I birdied the first 3 holes, and then I birdied the 8th hole to go out 4 under. And then 10 was playing very long, and I hit a drive and a forward back on the back part of the green where the pin is, and putted past the hole, missed the putt, 3-putted there. The next hole plays very long for me too, and I hit an iron just in the right fringe, which was a pretty good shot considering, but I played a bad chip across the green and missed that. And then coming in, I birdied 13 and 15.
On 15, what club did you use? What was going through your mind when you were thinking about the water in the front and the water in the back?
I didn't hit a very good drive, and there's the first mound out there in the middle is about 225 to 30 yards to the front edge of the green, and I was 7 or 8 yards behind that. But I felt like if I hit a real good 3-wood and favored the right side, even if I put it in the bunker, that wasn't too bad. And as it turned out, I hit the 3-wood real good, and it landed in the middle of the green and just went over. And then I played a very good pitch back about 4 feet from the hole, but I didn't hit a very good drive, but I was at a stage where I felt like I had to take a shot at the green.
Well, you were, of course, leading, and I was wondering if any time during those last 4 or 5 holes did you kind of get the idea that you were going for the middle of the green, or did you really go ahead and charge
I tell you, with these guys playing behind you, you just feel like you got to make another birdie. And after I birdied 15, I really was trying to make another birdie on those holes. And just like 18, I was just on the front fringe there, not too far from the hole, and I felt like I needed to make the putt.
Well, we've got a replay of that beautiful putt on 18. I saw you line it up, walk away, walk up and look at it
The reason
again.
I walked away, someone in the crowd said, down in front.
But we've got a replay on this, and if you'll describe it for us about what
Well, the putt, I thought it was going to come in from the right edge, and it went just across the right edge of the hole, but the putt went fairly straight. I was trying to putt right edge of the cup, and that's just about where the putt stayed, all the way up there.
Well, that was a wonderful finish for you, and I know that everyone very proud of you as
Thank
a great
you. This
champion.
is the pitch shot on 15, which turns out to be very good. That was a touchy little shot, too.
You didn't have to do that, did you?
I don't want to play against you, you long driving dude.
J.C., let's go back to J.C. and his great play throughout the tournament. And watching you, I was greatly impressed with your putting all during the tournament. Did you feel that you had a good touch around the greens all during it?
Yeah, I really putted fairly consistent all week. And I drove the ball as well as I've driven it for 2 years. And I feel like any time you drive real well and you putt real well, you've got a chance. I think I hit a couple 3-putts. I 3-putted the second hole today. I hit one of my better shots all week there, and I had almost exactly the same putt I had yesterday. And yesterday I knocked it by about 8 feet and made it coming back, and today I leave it about 10 feet short. And that kind of hurt a little bit too.
You told J.C. yesterday, you mentioned that, I know I watched you birdie 8 and then make a great shot on 9, about 4 feet from the flag for another birdie, and it stayed out to the right, I believe. And
no, I pulled it a little bit.
Oh, did you pull it a little bit? And then you were saying that you kind of the pressure got to you a little bit of the intense concentration, and you were weak after the round.
It's funny, the other tournaments that I've won, I really got pumped up, you know, I got excited, and I had to be careful not to get too much adrenaline going, but for some reason the last 2 days I really got tired after about 10 holes. Today I started to get tired again, and then I hit it in the water at 12, and I got so hot at myself. Well, that went away real quick, and I played better after that. But yesterday I really just kind of, I don't know, it's a concentration that you have to put on every shot, and especially on the greens. If you just miss-hit it just a tiny bit, you leave yourself a 4 or 5 footer, and boy, they're treacherous here. I don't think I'd have any hair either if I had to play here every day.
Well, I think it's about time that we ask our defending champion, Jack Nicklaus, to place the green coat on our new winner, Tommy Aaron.
See if I can get up here. Tommy?
There you go.
Oh, thank you.
Congratulations.
Thanks a lot, Jack. Thank you very much. Green looks pretty good on me, doesn't it?